Hello, Putri. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? It is 9 o'clock, 9:03 a.m. right now. Hello, Mona. Good morning. All right, guys, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Today is AFIEC, which means a friend in every corner live stream. And this live stream is kind of an open live stream where you can ask questions or you can just chat with me. Okay, I know sometimes people just want to chat, and I can't do that all the time because I'm here to teach mostly, right? But today I'm going to do a little bit of both. Okay, so if you have some questions or you want to chat, both are okay. But you know what? I'll tell you what. If you want to chat, that's okay. But it's always better if you want to chat, have something to chat about. Ask some questions or have something that you want to talk about, a topic, right? If you want to just chat, then you have to at least come with something to talk about, okay? But nothing political. I have no interest in discussing politics here. All right, raise your hand if you want to come on stage. Raise your hand if you'd like to come on stage. All right, well, we have a couple of questions so far. Mona wants to know the meaning of a cynic. A cynic. Mona, there were two groups of people in Greece a long time ago. One were called the cynics and another one were called the skeptics. Okay, and cynics, they basically, the original cynics. So first I want to explain what the original group did, then I'll explain what the modern meaning is. So the original group of the cynics, they were people who, they rejected the modern concepts that most people accepted as truth. And they believed that living with nature and being in harmony with nature was really the only thing that they needed to worry about, right? So basically, they were cynical that modern solutions or modern ideas were beneficial. Right? They were always cynical that anything that the modern people were doing was of value or helpful. Okay? So that's what those people were. They were called cynics because they always believed, that's not really going to do anything, or that's not going to be of any value, and the only thing you should do is just go back to nature, whatever. Something like that. Okay? But then there was the skeptics, and the skeptics was where we get the word skeptical from. So we have cynical and skeptical, right? And a cynical person is a person who always believes things are probably going to be bad, okay? Let's see. So it means that you always think that people have bad motives. You always think people are doing things for the wrong reasons. That's the modern version of it, okay? But the original version is basically that you show contempt or disregard for the standards of normal morality that the most people follow, okay? And you're bitter. Cynics are kind of bitter, right? They're bitter. They distrust people. They distrust things. They're contemptuous. They're pessimistic. And yes, skeptical is just that. Skeptical, if you just say you're skeptical, that just means I don't know if that's true. I'm skeptical. I need more proof. I'm skeptical that this is real, right? So maybe you read a news article and you say, I don't know about that. That doesn't sound right. I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical that this is true, okay? So to be skeptical means you doubt things often or you doubt something. Okay. If you're a skeptic, then you doubt things often. To be skeptical means to doubt things. Cynics are just bitter. You know, they just always think things are bad and are going to be bad. Okay. All right. And Putri has a question too. How do you offer assistance to someone struggling with a task without making them inferior? That depends on who you're helping and maybe what you're doing too. So one, you need to have a positive sense of energy, right? Just like being a teacher, Putri. When you're a teacher, you struggle with students who are having difficulties doing tasks, and you don't want them to feel inferior either. So, for example, Putri, anytime as a teacher that if I give my students an assignment, right, and they have to try to draw a picture of something, I don't know, whatever, or maybe they have to write a story, okay, about their home or something, right? I will look at what the student has done, and then I will say, oh, this is great. This is really good. I really like this. But why don't we try to change this just a little bit and let's fix this part here? So I always start with saying, oh, this is good. This is good. You're doing a good job. You know, you're starting well. You're doing the first try was good. And then I'll suggest something they could do to improve it, right? But I keep a smile on my face and I always sound like it's, you know, you're doing pretty good. I'm impressed, okay? And 我会说中文，可是现在这是英文课，所以大家你们需要用英文，okay? You're skeptical of what I'm telling you. Well, that's okay. I don't mind. I'm not afraid of a skeptic. Check it. Anything that you hear from me that you don't believe, by all means, check it. By all means. I'm not a master to my ego. I'm a master to knowledge. If that makes sense. You could say I'm not a master or not a slave, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, always give a compliment in the front, always seem positive, and then give feedback after and make the feedback supportive feedback, you know? Yeah. I know, Anton. I know you're just joking. It's okay. Hello, Heidi. What is the difference between a burrito and a taco? Lever. So, Mexican food, or I should say, Tex-Mex food, okay? Tex-Mex food and Mexican food are slightly different, okay? Mexican food, there are many authentic dishes in Mexico that you won't find commonly in America. But in America, we have this kind of food called Tex-Mex, which is, it's a mixture of American culture and Mexican culture, and sometimes even Native American culture. So, the interesting thing about Tex-Mex food is that the ingredients in almost every kind of food in Tex-Mex are all the same ingredients. They're just put together in a different way, right? So a burrito and a taco have almost the same ingredients, just put together in a different way. Okay, so for example, tacos can be soft tacos or hard tacos. And a soft taco uses a soft flour or corn burrito, tortilla. Tortilla is a kind of Mexican flatbread that is pounded out until it's thin, okay? And it can be used with corn flour or wheat flour, okay? A burrito usually is made, at least in the United States, it's usually made with wheat flour tortilla. But inside, you're going to have some kind of a meat, usually, like beef, chicken, maybe shrimp, could be, maybe, but usually beef or chicken, pork, carnitas, right? And then you'll have some ingredients inside the burrito. So a burrito is basically a big wrapped piece of bread with a bunch of stuff inside. Okay, and it's pretty big. Okay, it's pretty big size, right? So a burrito is like, if you go to America, there's one store we have here called Chipotle, and the burritos are like the size of a football. They're huge. They're enormous. Well, if you go to a good Chipotle, they are. Okay, so that's a burrito. It's big. It's wrapped up all together, and it's wrapped completely, so you can't see anything inside. Tacos is just a small tortilla that is folded up and you eat it, right? So it has stuff inside that's folded and you eat it. And again, it will have maybe beef or chicken or pork, and or it could be shrimp or other meats, tongue, brain. There are many things that you can use for tacos. And then, yeah, you know, wrap it up and eat it. Yeah. Anyway, that's the difference. Do a search online and just look at a picture. You'll see the difference between them. While you're speaking, you can't recognize grammar points. Shojadine, I'm not sure I quite understand what you mean. You mean you're not able to recognize your mistakes when you make them, when you're speaking. And that's normal, but that's why it's really important to do two things. One, write. Okay, guys, if you want to improve your spoken grammar, then you should improve your written grammar. Because writing, you can take time with and you can see. So you can really check to see if you have proper grammar, proper structure, proper tensing, all of the things that you need to do with grammar. You can look at it and see it. That's much easier than just saying the words and trying to arrange them in your head to make sure they're right. Okay? So if you want to improve your spoken grammar, then you should work on your written grammar. And you can use ChatGPT to help you find your mistakes. Write something in ChatGPT and ask it to correct your grammar. and it will. You had an argument because of me with your professor. Uh-oh. I hope it was okay. How can you speak English perfectly? Taman, there is no answer for that question unless you want to buy a book. That is too big of a question. Okay? If I said, how can I learn German? How can I learn to speak Japanese perfectly? You must buy a book for that. Okay? Ask a smaller question. Okay? That's when you ask something like, how can I speak English perfectly? That's like asking, why are humans here? You know, it's too big. Ask a smaller question. You asked the difference between abbreviation and acronym, and your professor said it's wrong. Well, an acronym, once again, is any group of letters. A group of letters where each letter represents a word. That is an acronym. Okay? Like NASA is an acronym. Okay? An abbreviation is any word that is made shorter just for simplicity. So, for example, ABBR period is the abbreviation for abbreviation. Okay? Yeah, ASAP is an acronym. As soon as possible. That's an acronym. Abbreviation is any word that's made shorter. Apartment, APT, that's the abbreviation for apartment. Okay? When you want to say you don't know how to say in English, maybe you haven't studied English vocabulary enough. Maybe, Joe. Maybe. Could be. Okay? But, Joe, you also need to practice thinking in English. If you practice thinking in English, then you can figure out how to say things first in your head, and then when you need to speak, you'll know how to speak. Okay? Hello to the new people, Fabio. Hello. No, is it Noelia? That's a pretty name. Beans, yeah, sure. Mexican shawarma. Actually, it does have a relationship to shawarma, actually, Anton. If you go to Mexico, there is one kind of a taco called al pastor tacos. The al pastor tacos, if you see one, let me show you what an al pastor taco stand looks like, and then you tell me what that looks like, what you think it looks like. Okay, let's see here. So take a look at this. Tell me what this looks like to you. What does this look like? Yeah, it looks like doner, looks like shawarma, right? Something like that, kebab, right? But no, this is actually al pastor tacos. Now, why does it look like a shawarma? Why does it look like a doner? Because it's actually related. A long time ago, there was a family from Lebanon in the Middle East who came to Mexico. And when they came to Mexico, they brought that, but the people in Mexico just changed what they use for the meat to the meats that the locals liked, which was usually pork. Okay, so al pastor is, let's see. Yeah, al pastor is made of pork, right? So obviously they don't usually do pork in the Middle East, right? But when they came here, that was what was most cheap. That was what was common. So that's what they used. But that's why it looks like a shawarma, because it's related. Okay. It was a long time ago. There was a family from Lebanon who moved to Mexico and they brought that with them. And now it's part of Mexican culture too. Okay. Yeah, right. It looks like the same kind of a thing like an Arab culture, but that's Mexican al pastor tacos. Yeah. All right. Let me catch up with the comments, and then I want to get somebody on stage to talk with me. And I believe Clay is supposed to be in the audience somewhere. Clay, I don't know if you're here yet. Clay wasn't able to drive out here today, but he was going to come online. They didn't exactly steal it, Anton. The idea was brought to them. And Anton, the word that you're looking for is they have stolen. Have stolen would be the proper way to say that. Okay? Sophia, I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. It's in the middle of the United States. Are all the written grammar rules used in daily speaking? No, Carrie. No, not all of them. Not all of them. Is it true to say I feel stressful or I am stressed out? You can say both. You can say I am stressed out, I feel stressed out, I feel stressful, I feel full of stress. All of those are okay. Okay, I feel stressful, I feel full of stress, I'm stressed out. Okay, yeah, all of those are fine. Hello, Robin. Hello, Bas. And she was like, no. Okay, well, does she have any kind of internet access? because all you have to do is acronym. A word formed from the initial letters or groups of letters of words in a set phrase or, yeah. So again, like OPEC is an acronym. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, that's an acronym, right? And it's right there. It's in the dictionary. How can you not know what an acronym and what an abbreviation is when it's right there in the dictionary, or look it up online? This is not hard to figure out. And it's really sad. It's sad when a teacher can't admit when they're wrong. Okay? There have been times when I have been wrong, and I'm always hopeful that I'm able to admit it so that I can grow. When you won't admit you're wrong, you're limiting your growth. Your weakness is speaking. So, Taman, you should follow me here. I have about 80,000 followers on Hello Talk, okay? And I often talk about all kinds of tips, okay, for speaking, writing, reading, listening, grammar, vocabulary, okay? So just follow and pay attention, and you can join my YouTube channel, which is right here. Whoops, wrong one. This one right here. And you can also join my website right there. Isn't it cold outside for drinking something with ice? Well, I like iced coffee even when it's freezing cold outside, Marin. But it's actually warming up. Today is getting warm. Let's see, what's the temperature right now outside? It is... Whoops. It is 11 right now, and it's going to get warmer later. So it's actually not that bad right now. Okay, let's get some people on stage. If you want to come talk to me, you can raise your hand. There are more than 20,000 common words in English. How can you remember so many? Andy, there are more than that, actually. But the average native speaker knows between 10,000 and 30,000. Okay, that's what I'll say. All right. 20,000 would be a good number to kind of just give yourself a baseline to go from. But it's not as bad as you think, Andy. It's not as bad as you think, because the vocabulary words in English are connective. And by that, I mean that it's natural to learn them in groups. The more you learn, the more you will learn. So it does have an exponential growth effect. So as you learn, don't worry, it's not that bad. All right? Can I explain swing by? Yeah, swing by is a slang phrase that just means I'm going to stop by. Swing by and stop by both mean about the same thing. They mean you're going to, usually you're driving, and you're going to stop at some place for just a minute to do something. So I'll swing by and pick up those papers after work, or I'll stop by and grab that dessert later. Okay? Something like that. But it just means you're going someplace for usually a very short time. So you're not saying I'm coming, you're saying I'm going to swing by. That means I'll be there and then I'll leave. Not too long. Okay? Thank you, Mona. I try. I mean, I'm human just like anyone else, so occasionally I have an ego just like anyone else. 听不懂，如果你听不懂，我觉得试试看。OK， 你需要试试看，听我，看我每天的。OK， 我觉得一些你可以听得懂的。一些就是很好的，加油。Yeah, stop by and swing by are about the same. Okay, let's see. Who wants to come up? May wants to come up. Hello, May.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you? Oh, I'm pretty just so. Today
Just so-so.
I had a Chinese lesson for my students, and I also took a course of English in online course.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds like a good day.
Yeah. Yeah. But a little
Tiring.
Tough. A little tough.
Yeah.
Because I also finished my work today. My main work. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And after my work, I took the English course and teach Chinese. Yep.
And taught Chinese.
Taught Chinese.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, that sounds good. So you're a Chinese teacher then?
Yeah. My student is Japanese.
Oh,
So-
interesting. Interesting. How old are they?
Because I live.
Adults?
Yeah, adult.
Ah, okay.
Because I live in Japan, so my students
I see.
are Japanese.
I see.
And I think for Japanese, the pronunciation is pronounce is difficult. for them.
You mean
Yeah.
Chinese pronunciation or English pronunciation?
Yeah. Chinese.
Yeah. Well, Chinese pronunciation is difficult for anyone, I think. Really. It took me a long time to try to learn how to pronounce things, and I still have to work on it. I'm not perfect yet.
I think, I think for Japanese, it's more difficult than American.
Maybe.
Because, yeah,
Okay. Because why? Why do you think?
because I think Japanese pronounce is fewer than American pronounce.
Maybe. You mean the syllables, like the kinds of sounds, the phonemes that they have. Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
Yeah.
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 I could see that. But I also think Japanese language is also a small mouth language like Chinese. So the mouth positions, I think, are not quite so difficult. Americans, I think they struggle to speak Chinese sometimes because we have a big mouth when we speak. And when you speak Chinese, you have to use a small mouth. It doesn't sound good if you use a big mouth, you know? So,
a little overpronounced.
Right. Yeah. If you use a big mouth with Chinese, it sounds weird. It's too overpronounced.
Yeah.
Right. But on the other hand, with English, it sounds better if you use a big mouth when you speak English. So that's why I tell people English is a big mouth language. Chinese is a small mouth language, you know, and
Yeah. But sometimes Chinese also needs to big mouth because like ma.
Yeah, like ma
I
and
think-
ni hao, right? Like I remember there was one time when I was in Kenting, which is in the south of Taiwan, and there was a guy on the street, and he had I think he had a barbecue store or something, kind of a barbecue shop or something, and he was this big Taiwanese guy, and he was standing out there, and he was screaming with his. He said "ni hao, ni hao." It was so big. It was his mouth was huge, but I had never ever seen anyone speak Chinese with such a big mouth. This guy was the first one. Yeah, and you're right. The ma sound, the ah sound. You're right. That one is a pretty big sound in Chinese, but the rest of them, almost all the rest, are pretty small.
I think if you are Chinese, it's okay. Not big mouth, you can pronounce that correctly.
Right.
But if you are a Japanese, no.
Yeah,
you
maybe. Yeah.
Must be learn say big mouth first.
Yeah.
And then and then you master the pronounce. After then you can small mouth also can correctly pronounce.
Yeah, and actually that's true for every language, really. Whatever language you're learning, when you learn a language, you have to learn the vocabulary and you have to learn the grammar, but you also have to learn the mouth movements. Every language has different mouth movements. And when you learn a mouth movement, that means it's a muscle movement. And muscle movements, if you want to learn muscle movements, you must over exaggerate them to learn them well in the beginning. And then after you exaggerate them to make them really, really big, then you practice a lot. And the more you practice, then they get more natural and smaller again, you know? But you have to start with you have to start by exaggerating so that you learn the proper movement, right? That's the same way for every language. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because some Chinese also have the problem when they speak Japanese. Japanese also has
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and some Chinese can pronounce but when they say Japanese, they say not
right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I often have to teach when I teach Chinese students. I often have to work on their vowels. You know, so especially the A E I. A-E-I.
Yeah.
Many Chinese people have difficulty with A-E-I sounds, especially the short ones. Ah, eh, I, because if
What is REA?
so, A-E-I-O-U. Those are the long vowel sounds, right? The A-E-I-O-U is long vowels. Then we have short vowel sounds. That's the right? So every vowel has two sounds to it, right? A long way and a short way. So, for example, the word cat, that's a short a, but the word train, a, that's a long a.
Oh.
Right? So there's two different sounds for each vowel, and both of them you need to make the mouth very big. And I teach my Chinese students that the A sound 就是非常大的嘴，非常大的口, right? And then the E sound 就是中的, and the I sound 就是小的，是大的、中的、小的，大的、中的、小的。
大中小。
Yeah, 大中小。Yeah, 大中小. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, and that helps, because if you make it too small, then they all look the same. If your mouth is too small, then they all look the same and they sound the same. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So, and also about the difference between Chinese and Japanese pronounce. Chinese has 声调。
声调.
妈妈
Oh yeah, 对 yeah, the tones, yeah.
But the tones, but Japanese not the tones.
Yeah, right,
so,
yeah.
When they pronounce ma, they feel not very comfortable. So
right.
So they never pronounce this until the end.
Yeah, can I give you a tip that might help you? I'll give you a tip that so when I was learning Chinese, the tones were very hard for me, but I'm a musician, and so as a musician, I tried to think about it like music when I was learning.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I started with learning the numbers 1 through 10, right? And when I say them, I will draw the tones with my finger. So I say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. And when you,
perfect.
if you draw them, then you can do it, and you know what they're supposed to be like, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? And then you feel like you know them, but drawing the tones helps you, because then you know E is one sound across E. Right?
Yeah.
Down. Throw it down on the ground. That's the
You can You can also need this one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. Yeah, with the head. That's right. Yeah, but I found it better if you draw it with a finger. I think it makes more sense in your head, like you're imagining a line.
I think it's effect.
You're imagining a line, and you can see what that looks like. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So you can try that.
That's why your pronunciation is good.
It's pretty good.
Chinese.
It's pretty good. Yeah. I'm still working on it, but it's pretty good. Yeah. So anyway, May, your English is quite good, May.
Oh, thank you. A little improved.
Yeah. No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Because, thank you. You taught me. You let me think about it in English in my normal life, so I did that.
That's good. Yeah, and remember, again, that idea works for any language, right? The secret of any language is that it must live in your mind. So Japanese, you can think in Japanese, you can think in English, you can think in Chinese. You just have to practice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, I also can share you about my experience of learning Japanese. My Japanese not good like like this. I always trying to say in Japanese that I meet somebody talking in Chinese or Korea. I always trying to say it in Japanese again.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, just to
Yeah.
test yourself. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also when I came to Japan, the first time I trying to search every word I can see because like in the road, the shop name, yeah, and like any what広告なんて
Advertisements. Advertisements. Yeah.
About advertisements we never say in my real life. But
okay.
I also check what means it what mean is what mean in Japanese. What is mean in Japanese?
Interesting.
So I think that's why I can improve my Japanese a lot.
Oh, well, that's good. Good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very, it's worked for me.
Okay. So
even it's a very tough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
because
difficult.
Japanese is easy for me.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
When I start to learn Japanese, but it's reached some levels, then it's difficult to
advance more. Yeah.
Reach another level. Yeah.
That's normal.
So
when you learn things, that's normal. In the beginning, when you learn very big leaps. But then the more you learn, the smaller it gets. And then it feels like it's really hard to move forward. Yeah.
But I think about English, for me, it's difficult. Even it's in my starting learning English. It's a little different with Japanese. Japanese, when I start to learn it, it's very easy.
Yeah.
But English.
Yeah. Well, English English is a complicated language because it comes from so many languages, right? And that's why. But Japanese, you know, all the Asian languages like Japanese, Korean, and Chinese, they do have some historical connection to each other, but not enough for it to make a big difference because they are now the modern versions are very different from each other. So, but English is part Latin, it's part Greek, it's part it's part French, it's part German, it's part you know, it's many languages put together, and so that's part of the reason why it's difficult. But
I think so too.
Yeah. Well, May, it was nice to talk to you. I want to let you go and get somebody else up on the stage here, but be careful wherever you're walking, and have a great rest of your night. And
nice to talk to you.
Yeah, it was nice to talk to you. Yeah. I'll see you next time. Okay.
Okay. See you next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, May. Okay, let's see. Now we have Xiaomi. Hello, Xiaomi.
Hi, Sherman. Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Maybe over there it's morning.
It is. Yes, it's 9:47 a.m.
Yeah.
And you're in what city?
Xuzhou City.
Xuzhou, okay.
Jiangsu Province.
Okay. All right. And Did you have any questions you wanted to ask me or something you wanted to talk about?
I didn't preparing some question. I just want to talk with you for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you can say it. I just want to
practice
free
my
chat.
oral English.
Okay, all right. So tell me, what do you like to do for fun?
Just watching some English videos.
Okay, like what? What kind of English videos? Like TV shows or TikTok or Douyin or what do you watch?
Some topics about a company with children.
Okay, all right. So family shows. Like what? Tell me more.
Daily dialogue.
Dialogue. Daily dialogue. Okay. All right. And so
I don't know, is it right to say that?
yeah, you could say it like that. Yeah. It just depends on what you're looking at, you know? But that sounds like studying. Is that studying or is that what you do for fun? Or both?
Yeah. Maybe prefer study. Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm home tutoring.
Okay. But is that what you do for fun? Or is that just what you study?
Nothing fun. I think watch some video is fun.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
Okay.
have nothing to. I have nothing.
Do you read books? Do you
for
watch
fun.
do you watch movies? Do you read books? Do you go out to eat? Do you like to cook? Do you do gardening? What do you do?
Maybe cook bread.
Cook bread. You like to bake bread.
Bake bread.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Good.
Nowadays,
Okay.
recently,
that's good. That's good.
I learned how to bake bread.
Okay, that sounds fun. That's a good hobby. My sister is a pastry chef, so that means she is just a 面包师. So yeah, so she's a pastry chef. Yeah, but life is short, Xiaomi. I think you need more hobbies.
But my job is special.
Okay.
I live in my boss's house
Oh, interesting.
for 24 hours.
So what do you do?
I'm a home tutor.
Oh, wow. And what do you teach? 你教什么?
Everything.
Everything. So
Yeah,
he's Chinese.
Take care of the children's life and study.
So you teach him or you teach the children or both?
Children.
So and do you take care of the children?
Yeah. Take care of the children.
So we often call that a nanny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
nanny is a
Almost,
person who
yeah.
takes care of children, and often they are also someone who teaches the children too. They teach the children, right? That's a nanny. That's pretty cool. Sounds like a pretty interesting job. So what does he do? What does he do? What is his job?
His job.
Yeah, the man who has the house. What is his job? 他做什么？什么工作？
No, I just take care of a boy.
我知道。
He is
Okay,
three
right.
and
他的爸爸
3.5 hours.
做什么工作？
a businessman.
Businessman. Okay. All right.
Yeah. He
And
runs big company.
Okay. Do you teach him anything too, or just the children?
Yeah, just the children. I just take care of the boy.
Okay. And do you cook food for everybody, or just for the children, or for no?
Just
Just for the
boy.
children. Just for the boy. Okay. All right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And how old is the boy?
The boy is 3.5 years
Oh, wow.
old.
Very young. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are what we call a live-in nanny. A live-in nanny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So my boss ask me teach the children English. So I must improve my English. 怎么说呢？immediately.
Quite the end. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day, if I have free time, I learn English by all kinds of method.
Okay. Have you been to my website?
Website?
Yeah, I have a website. If you go to my website, there are many, many, many things that you can use there to study English. Okay?
No.
So go
I
to
just watch some videos.
go to my website later and sign up. And if you go to my website, here, let me show you. I'll show everybody very quickly. And hello, Miguel, and hello, Blake, over in my YouTube. Let's see here. Let me bring up my website.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, here, take a look at this. So this is my website, everybody. Okay.
Okay.
And
Let me copy it.
if you go down to the bottom of the website here, you can see this part here, and it says reading, writing, listening, speaking, IELTS, TOEFL, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. So if you want to study, let's say you want to study vocabulary, click on vocabulary, and then you'll get all these links that I have here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 6 different links that will help you to study vocabulary. Okay. Or you can go back and you could study speaking. So if you go to speaking, there's IELTS conversation topics here, speaking lessons here, British Council on lessons for speaking, Hello Talk there, right? And there's ESL Gold. So there's lots of things here for learning English. All right. Everything you need is right there. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, TOEFL, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. And yes, it's free. You just have to give me your email. Okay, your email, everybody. I want your email. If you don't give me your email, no, you can't join. Okay, so that's it. It doesn't cost anything. You just have to have an email. That's it. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, it is free, and there are some people who will not be able to open it. Most people in China seem to have no problem using my website. So I don't know why, but there are some people in China, they try to use it and they can't. But most of my followers in China seem to be able to use it. I don't know why. And then Iran, I don't know what to do about Iran. I'm so sorry, but I can't help you if you're in Iran if it doesn't work. And then, yeah, the only other thing that you could use is, a VPN if you need to. Yeah. So, and again, yes, the website is right there, guys, right there. AFIEC English. Okay, what does AFIEC mean? It means what you see across the top today. A friend in every corner. You see the title of today's stream? What's it called? A friend in every corner? That's AFIEC. AFIEC English. Okay?
Okay.
So if you go to my website, you'll find lots that you can study there for free. Okay? A lot. And some of it is good for the kids too.
Oh, I just want to find the daily how to speak with children in the daily life.
Then there's one particular website there called games2learnenglish.com. It's on my website. Go find it, and you'll. That's great. I love that website. All my students use it, adults and children. It's great. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And yes, guys, you can't give me your email here. No. That's not how it works. You have to go to the website and subscribe. Okay. If you go to my website and subscribe, then you can join. Okay. But you can't just do it here. That doesn't work. Okay. So Xiaomi, if you go to my website, you'll find everything you need, and you'll find a lot of things that will help you with your English and also the kids too. Okay.
Okay, okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Xiaomi, and you sound good. So just keep working on it. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. I'll talk to you next time. Okay.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
You too. All right. So, yes. Yes, Blake, my good friend Blake, how are you? And hello, Miguel. All right, let's see. Did I miss any comments or questions? Let me make sure. Hello, Belen. Okay, can I pronounce these words? Let's see. The words you want, Romulo, are tough. The first word is tough, tough, tough. Okay, so the GH in that word is actually an F sound, tough. Okay, but the next word is though, though, though. And the next word is thought, thought, thought. The next word is through, through, through. And the last word is thorough, thorough, thorough. Okay? Hello, everybody. Hello to the new people. It doesn't have to be a Google account. I think it can be any email. Any email works to sign up. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's get somebody else on stage here. Let's talk to Linda. Linda, do you want to come talk to me? Linda, are you there? Let's try one more time. There she is. Hello,
Hi.
Linda. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm pretty good. And you're in Iran where? Are you in Tehran or where?
Yeah, I'm in Tehran now. I'm a student here
Okay, cool.
at my home. Yeah.
All right. And what can I do for you today?
I just wanted to talk to you to get some input about my English, if there's anything I can improve. So,
Okay.
just like that.
Okay. All right. Well, you sound great. I have a lot of followers in Iran, Linda, hundreds of them, maybe even thousands, and I'm always amazed about how I would say 90% of my Iranian followers have amazing English. It always shocks me how good their English is, you know. And you, again, I've only heard you for just a brief moment, but you sound great. Your accent is not strong. You pronounce things well. You speak clearly. I can tell you're thinking in English when you speak English. So that's good. Let's talk a little more and tell me, what is your weakness in English? What do you struggle with? Vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, reading, writing, listening, speaking, confidence. What do you struggle with?
I think it's writing because I don't like it. And I haven't practiced it that much because I've learned my English through English classes since I was like 8 years old.
Okay.
So the only part that I always hated is writing, and I'm also not good at that in Persian.
Right.
So
Okay. Yeah. I was just
think
gonna.
it's not just
I was just
English.
gonna ask that. Right. That's just because you just are not a big fan of writing. Period. Right. Okay. And I understand that, but you also know that to be good at something, you can't neglect an entire area. Right. You have to address that at some point. Right. So what I would tell you, Linda, is you should try to focus on writing a little more in two ways. Okay. One is do try to make it as interesting and fun as you can. And that's not so difficult anymore. What I would suggest is get on ChatGPT or DeepSeek or whatever and ask it to give you 10 fun writing exercises, 10 short fun writing exercises, right? So like maybe just a paragraph or a page, something short, not too long, right? And choose the one you like, right? And if you don't like those 10, then choose 10 more. Just ask it to keep giving you possibilities until you find something that sounds kind of interesting to write about, okay? Writing is just like speaking in that there are some things, if I ask you a topic about, something really boring, like, I don't know, the animal behavior of deer in the woods, that's boring. But if I ask you something about something you're interested in, maybe you're interested in movies, so we talk about movies, now you're interested in it, right? Or you like food, so we talk about food, you're interested in that. Of course you're going to want to talk about it more, right? So writing is like that too, okay? And then let me ask you another question. When you write, how do you write? What do you do? What is your process? If I asked you to write a short story, or I asked you to write an article about your college, what is your process?
Well, actually, I mostly write about when I want to do a self-evaluation. I write in English.
Okay.
So words that just come flow to my mind, and I write them down. But I feel like it's not as good as my speaking or other things that I have, like my reading or anything. So I want to make it more professional because in the future, I'm gonna write some articles because of my major. So that's why I say that. And about the question that you asked, so based on the laws, I'm going to start with an introduction paragraph, then the body, and then the conclusion.
Okay.
I know this
That's
stuff.
good. Yeah, that's good. But there's actually another step that you're missing that I think you should start with that might make things easier for you. Okay? When I want to write something, before I get to saying, oh, here's my introduction paragraph, and here's my body, and here's my my ending. No, before I do that, I brainstorm. Just brainstorming, and brainstorming is fast and ugly and dirty, which means that like all I'm doing is whatever words pop into my head, I write them on a piece of paper. I don't even care if they're all over the place. Okay, I like it when they're all over the place. And then, so when I do this, I have a whole paper with a bunch of different topics and ideas written on it. And then I'll look at that and start circling them and drawing lines to connect them, right? So that, this idea goes with this. I need to, okay, these two go together, right? Then once I have my brainstorm paper, then I make an outline. An outline is the key. You have to start with an outline. Outlines are good for two things. They're not only great for writing and organizing your writing and writing better, improving your writing, they're also great for speaking. When I think about a speech or an argument or a debate, I think in outlines because it's much easier to be fast, deft is the word I was looking for, which means quick and able to use that thing well. If you use outlines, instead of trying to think of entire topics, you have everything organized in your head like an outline. Okay, so that's what I do with writing and with speaking, is I still use outlines. I think about things in outlines. And as a teacher, I see it all the time. Many students say that they're not good at writing, and then I ask them, what's your process? And that's what they do, is they say, well, I start with an introduction paragraph. And I say, that's step 5. What about steps 1, 2, and 3, and 4? You didn't do those yet, right? You have to build your writing. You have to build your writing with a good foundation. If you jump right in the middle, sometimes that's why you stall out, because you've formalized it too much too soon. Okay, so it should be ugly in the beginning. It should be dirty. It should be just, just ideas thrown on the paper. And then you can take those ideas and make something out of it, right? So put it this way. When you build something, if you make a building, you need materials first, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing you do is you get your materials and you organize them so that you're ready to build. This is what we're doing, right? That's the process of writing too, is to get your materials and throw them down, and they're ugly first, and then you organize them and make them nice and stacked and nice and easy and neat, and now you know how to build the house better because everything is organized. Okay, same thing with writing. Okay, so
yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, try that. And then there's another website that I use. If you follow me and go to my website, there are 2 other links there for conversation topics and questions. Okay, and I think this would be good for you. You can go to this website and choose a topic like friends, okay, or movies, and in that you'll see 100 questions about friends or 100 questions about movies. You can practice answering those questions 3 different ways. You could practice writing them. You can practice speaking them, or you can also practice thinking them. Just thinking of your answers, right? You don't have to write, you don't have to say anything. Just think of your answers, right? And again, having something that big with hundreds of topics and thousands of questions, that will make you practice. Okay, you'll find questions you want to answer. You'll find topics that are interesting to you, right? So that's the key, is learning can't always be fun, Linda. I tell people learning is like climbing a mountain. Sometimes when you're climbing a mountain, it's beautiful views and the wind is in your face and it feels wonderful. And sometimes you're just barely hanging on and you're going to fall and it could be dangerous, right? And it's hard. That's learning. It can't always be fun. so
it is fun, except for the literature part and the writing.
Right. That's what I'm saying, though. That's exactly what I mean. Is they're just like climbing a mountain. Most of the mountain might be fun, but then there are parts of it that will be difficult and that will be stressful and frustrating, and maybe even something that will make you nervous or anxious because you're worried. Right? That's climbing a mountain. Yeah. Okay, so you have to admit that. You have to understand that, because you can't get around it. People come here all the time and they want me to give them a shortcut, and there are none.
I get those questions too, because every live stream or every voice stream that I go and talk, after that I get at least 10 DMs, and they ask me, how did you get there?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've studied like more than 10 years.
Right, yeah.
So there's no shortcut.
Yeah, you know what we say is the master has failed more times than the beginner has ever tried. Yeah, and so that's right, guys, is you want, some of you guys, you want the respect without doing the work. We respect people who have knowledge because we know it wasn't easy. Okay? So just like when you see a talented musician, guess what? Sometimes we say, oh, they're so talented. What you're seeing is the product of a lot of hard work, okay? So they might have some natural gift or something, but no, what you're seeing is thousands of hours of effort and struggle, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and also there's another term in our country. When someone reaches success, they become successful. They're like, they were just lucky. We tried to. They were just lucky.
Yeah. Now, we say that too. But I think we say that just to try to be humble, right? Like, when you become successful, instead of walking around saying like, I'm successful because I'm the greatest ever, no, instead of doing that, we'll say, it was just luck. I was just lucky. It's just to be humble, and you should be that way. If you became rich, you were lucky. Okay. No matter how smart you think you were, fate and luck played a huge role in you becoming successful. Okay? Everyone, no matter how talented you are, no matter how good you are, no matter how knowledgeable you are, guess what? Luck plays a role in your success. Okay?
Yeah. But without trying, it's nothing.
That's true. That's true. Without trying, it's nothing. You can't get there with just luck. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway. Well, Linda, I think you sound great. I think you sound fantastic. Again, you know, I'm always surprised, always shocked. I shouldn't be shocked and amazed anymore by the English of Iranians because I've talked to so many, but it always
actually,
does.
it is really normal for us to go to English classes. It's like we have English in our schools, in high school.
I know. Yeah.
And most of the time, our students' English is that good that they can tell the teacher that you're wrong.
That's good for you.
I myself, I was like, I was like reading my books and finding mistakes of that I took them to my teacher, and I was like, this part of the book is not correct. It's wrong.
That's good. Good for you. Good for you, Linda. Yeah. There's a follower I have here. Her name is Gila. I think she's 11. And she lives in Tehran, and her English is amazing. It's like, and she learned from watching like Peppa Pig and Disney movies and things like that. And of course she goes to school and studies too, but her English is fantastic, and she's not shy either, which is amazing. You know, she's not afraid. I like to get her on the stage because so many people, you know, they're adults and they're afraid to come talk. But this is a little girl. She's 11 years old, and she comes and turns on the microphone and she talks to me, and she's completely relaxed. You know, it's amazing. Yeah. So, Linda, did we lose Linda, or is she frozen? Linda, are you there? And hello, Clay. I hope we didn't lose Linda. Clay, I'll get you up here in just a second if you want to. If you're busy, that's okay too. Linda, hello, Linda. Did we lose you? Oh, there we are. There you're back. Yeah,
my sister called me. Oh, that's my nephew.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. That's all right. Okay. Well, yeah. Again, Linda, I think you're doing great. What I would tell you is, if you want to be better, then you know what you need to do. You can't be better by working on things that you're already good at. You have to focus on your weaknesses, even if they're things that you don't like. You are at that stage now. You've done all the easy stuff. You've done all the stuff you like. Now it's time to focus on the stuff you don't like. It's like a bear in the woods. You can't poke it. You have to kill it. All right? So you have to be focused, and you have to be serious, and you have to sit down and make a plan. But I want you to use every tool that you have available to you to make it easier for yourself. So that's why I said use ChatGPT to help come up with ideas for writing that will help you to want to write more, and use it to help correct you too. Tell ChatGPT, I need to improve my writing. Give me 10 exercises to practice. Then correct my grammar and tell me what are my 5 most common grammar mistakes. Because most people...
Actually, my mistakes aren't grammatical. I already did that.
Okay.
And I gave it like my text and said, please paraphrase it to a higher level. For example, mostly it says your writing is B2. So I said paraphrase it to C1. And yeah.
Okay, but see, that's good. You're using the tools to try to help you. That's good. That's exactly right. That's exactly what you need to be doing is... I played a game last night on my voice room where I give people a word, and they have to find a new way to describe that word, right? And these are exercises that you need to do, guys, because when you learn a language, you have to learn how to be to have dexterity with the language, to be dexterous, which means to feel like you can use it comfortably and nimbly, which means if many people, when they try to say something, they think of the one way to say it. And if they can't find a word, now you're in trouble because you only have one way. You only have one way to describe it. And then you get stuck. You think, oh, no, I can't find that word. That means I can't say it. No, guys, if you can't find one word, that's okay. Guess what? in every language you can say things many ways. So explain it another way. Find another way to use it to talk about it, to describe it, right? And that's an exercise that you have to practice, right? It's improvised language where you try to think of, okay, how could I describe an apple? What are the words that come up when I describe apple? Round, fruit, delicious, yummy, juicy, right? And the more words you can think of,
what's the brand?
Right, yeah. So the point is just to give your mind an exercise to make it more agile and nimble so that you can think of other ways to say things. Yeah. So, well, Linda, I don't know to be honest with you, I don't have any advice for you. You sound great.
Okay.
You sound great.
Thank you.
And you're smart, and I know that you're already working on it. All I can do is I think I just need to motivate you that you just need to get off your butt and focus on writing. Even if you don't like it, take your medicine. Take your medicine. That's what we call it. Take your medicine, right? We don't like it. Nobody likes to take medicine, but you got to sometimes. You need to take your medicine sometimes, right? So, yeah.
I am actually a medical student, so.
Well, then that makes sense for you. Then that's an analogy that you can understand. Okay, so yes, take your medicine, focus on your writing, and if you're a medical student, guess what? Writing is important.
Yeah, it is.
My sister's.
That's why I said I have to write articles in the future.
Yeah, I have one sister who's a nurse, and another sister who's a doctor, and my father's a psychologist. They all have to do a lot of writing.
My sister is a nurse too.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, then she'll tell you there are many reports you have to write, and you have to get it good. You have to, it has to be well written, right? Yeah. So, all right, Linda, you sound great. Keep working on it, and follow and come back and see me again sometime. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thanks for your time and for your advice.
It's my pleasure. Take care. Okay, and Clay, are you there? There's Clay. Let's get Clay up here.
Oh.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Hold on, let me turn it down a little bit. Because I was going to use my Bluetooth headphones, but they're dead, so there's that.
Yeah.
Are you still getting reverb, or is it better now?
It sounds okay, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. How we doing today?
I'm all right. I'm okay. I was just telling her last night I did the voice room called Describe It, and I kind of did it a different way than I did the first time I ran that show. And ChatGPT gave me a bunch of really interesting ideas of how to play this game, where I did some like riddles where I would say a riddle and you have to guess the word. I did some where you have to do reverse definition, where I give you the definition, you have to tell me what the word is.
Right, Jeopardy sort of thing.
Or I give you a word and you have to give me 5 words that describe that thing. Right? You know, something like that. So there are a bunch of them. Then there was another one where you have to use like or as to describe it. So I give you a word like the sun, and you say, it's the sun is as hot as hell, or whatever, something like that, to use a simile or a like or as situation to describe it.
Right.
It was fun. It was good.
I like that. That's a great way to do that, I think.
Yeah. It came out better than I thought it would. It's always a little hard just trying to run, it's when you're trying to corral people when you can see them, it's one thing. When you can't see them, it's another thing. It's really weird trying to get people to follow a topic or to follow a concept when you can't see them. It's a little awkward, but
maybe everyone's getting it at slightly different times. It's not all exactly on pace and whatever.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, I'm happy the weather's getting warmer here.
Yeah, me too. It's about to get colder today, but
is it?
It's supposed to get windy and rainy a little later on.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
But at least it's going to warm back up, and then hopefully we'll just go right into spring, which I'm ready for.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and actually I was thinking about it, and I haven't done one in quite some time, but I used to go do some streams in the woods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would just go for a hike and then, do a live stream while I'm hiking, which was kind of hard, but we can try that sometime. I like, you can just walk back in the woods right back behind the house here and just go hiking.
Yeah, that would be cool.
There.
I love those woods. Like I said, we've seen all kinds of animals out.
Right.
Every time I come out there, I saw that more blue jays than I've seen before.
Yeah, and there's lots of cool plants, and there's lots of cool fossils and things to look at, and beautiful views and things. So maybe one of these days here next month, when the weather is nice and it's dry, we can take a little hike and bring the camera.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I'll bring my GoPro.
Yeah, well, that'd be cool too. Yeah, we could. Yeah, technically we could both be live streaming at the same time.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if that would be beneficial in any way, but no.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but anyway. All right. Yeah. So let's get somebody else up here and talk with them.
Yeah, bring someone up.
Let me make sure I didn't miss any comments first, very quickly.
No, I would lose that competition, Alyssa.
Let's see. We are mastering English as one whole thing. It includes listening, speaking, reading, writing, thinking, and practicing like face-to-face. And each part takes up a certain percentage. So what are the percentages for each? Newman. The percentages of each for each part of language. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. Newman. I don't think it really is that important, Newman. It depends on the person. It depends on the purpose. And I don't think it's going to benefit you in any way to think of it like which one is the most important based on percentages. If you're looking to try to figure out which one should you spend the most time on, I can tell you that I think the pronunciation and accent part are probably the least important to get started with the language, right? So basic pronunciation like phonics, yes, that's important. But perfect accent or perfect pronunciation, no, that's not that important. You don't have to worry about that. If you're close in the beginning, you're fine, right? So in the beginning, I definitely think reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, and vocabulary, those are all equal, okay? Pronunciation is important on an equal level for a basic sense of phonics so that you understand the sounds of each of the letters, but you don't need to worry about pronunciation too much until later, I think. For perfect pronunciation. I have one student now who he's in Puerto Rico and he wants to get a job as a correctional officer, and we've been working on his accent a lot, to try to make it more clear. But I can understand him now. I can understand him now. He just has an accent, right? So, yeah, anyway. Newman, I don't think it really is that beneficial to think about breaking those down into a percentage of importance, okay? All right, let's see. Okay, Alex has a question, too. Alex's question is, I see that there's no conversation group for more basic levels. I listen here and there. Alex... well, I have no idea what anyone else does on this app, Alex. I only know what I do, okay? And if you want conversation at a more basic level, there are some, I think that for those, I don't think you need a person. I think you just need to sit down with basic phrases that you need to start learning. Right? So if you're just learning basic conversation, then first you need to spend time with the basic conversation phrases and words and vocabulary before you start trying to talk with people. All right? So make sure you do that first. Okay. I cannot teach you English, JC, but you can teach yourself English if you watch if you watch us and you pay attention. Okay? Or I can teach you English if you pay me. Let's see. All right, we're caught up now. Let me get. Let's talk to Gigi. Gigi, do you want to come talk to us? Gigi, hello, Gigi, are you there? Let me try one more time. Okay, then we'll go to the next person, Hala. And Hala is in, where is that? I want to say Zimbabwe. No, not Zimbabwe. What is that? I can't see. You know, on the computer, the flags are so tiny, and for some of them, it's okay.
Yeah, it makes it hard. You can't see the whole flag either. It's
right, right, exactly. Right, yeah. Okay, guys, if you raise your hand, you know, I feel like some of these people are cheating. They're just like turning on the raise hand button, then going to have some lunch. You know, like, you know, it's like, I hope I get called. Let me just turn it on. You know, I'm gonna try one more time. Gigi, come to talk to me, or Hala, come to talk to me. There's Hala. Hello, Hala.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm good. I think Clay's good too. Yeah. And Hala,
Hi, Clay.
What country
Hello.
are you in? I can't recognize that flag. I forgot. I've forgotten.
I'm from Kenya.
Kenya. That's I'll remember next time. Okay, and welcome, Hala. And did you have something you wanted to ask us about or chat about?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have a question.
Okay.
My question is about the vocabularies. Sometimes, you know, I can learn so many vocabularies per day, then or like maybe a week, but after some time I realize that the vocabularies that I have learned.
You forgot. Yeah. Oh no. We lost her. Ah. All right. Well, let's see. Did she accidentally take herself off, or did her time limit run out? I have to remember to tell them that the time limit, really, you got to put it on the screen, guys.
Yeah.
It's just really, it's at this point, it's kind of silly. You know, why? No. I need to remember to do that. Okay, so she was asking about vocabularies, or I should say vocabulary, because in American English we always use the singular form to talk about plural or singular, right? British do, I believe, you know, like maths and vocabularies and advices, but we don't do that. But it's a common question that you learn some words, then you forget them. And the reason why you learn some words and forget them is because the way you learn them is very shallow, and then you aren't engaging with them in any way after you learn them. So, of course, you forget them. And I always make the analogy that words are like people. If you spend time with people, you will remember them. If you don't, then you won't, right? So the same thing is true with words. And that means you have to spend time with them. And if you don't have enough chance to practice speaking, then you must practice thinking. Okay, and that's really what it comes down to, is if you can think and use the words regularly in your mind, then you won't forget them. Okay, but in the process of learning vocabulary, if you're learning by memorizing, that's why you're forgetting, right? It's just too shallow of a study process, right?
You have to learn through usage and not memory, you know, usage in thinking or usage in speaking, but usage in one way or another.
I think I like to use the word engaging with the words, right? Yeah, which means finding any way to engage with them, some way to engage with them, right? Using makes you think that you have to speak it or write it, but, you know, engage somehow with the words. So look it up in a thesaurus to find out what are some related words. That's one way to engage. Reading is a great way to engage with vocabulary. When you read, you're learning the words in a story that's much, much more interesting than just learning words by themselves. And then learn by topic. Learn by topic also. And learn where the words come from. Okay? So, in general, if you're forgetting words, it's because your process is too easily forgettable. You have to make a process that's not forgettable. That's really it. Yeah. Okay, guys? Alex, sometimes I speak slowly and sometimes I speak quickly. It depends on who I'm talking to. Hala had pretty good English, so I was speaking at a decent clip. We call that a decent clip, which means a nice speed. Okay? All right.
I wonder where that comes from.
A good clip? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's see.
It's like a clipper, something on the nautical term.
Could be. Yeah. A clipper was a speed ship. So that's very possible. Let's see. Where does a good clip come from? Let's see if I can find this. Whoops. Let me see. Meaning speed. Yeah, it does. Clipper ship. Yep, that's exactly the good guess. It's clipping along, right? We're clipping along. Yeah, at a good clip. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it comes from...
there's all kinds of those nautical terms that have transferred over that don't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, even under the weather. Yeah, under the weather is another one that's a nautical term that only makes sense if you understand a boat. Why is it? Why is it under the weather? Well, because if you're sick and you're on the boat, where do they tell you to go? Down under. Right. So that you're under the weather. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, let's see. Let me catch up here. Hello to all the new people. Your English level is A2. You don't know how to start. Can JJ, go to my website and start using my resources. That's how you can start. Okay? I think I'm going to add another part to my website, though. I have too much to do, but I want to do something on my website that's maybe some sort of like a study plan maker of some kind. Something to like, okay, here's what you should do. Now create your plan, create your study plan, like some
what
sort of
need to work on.
Yeah, a template that I can give them that they can then input and customize for themselves to give themselves an idea of how to study.
Right.
What to start with, what to do, what website, what resource, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to do something like that, but good Lord.
That'd be good. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm trying to say is I've got too much on my plate already. I'm still working on the cookbook. It's coming along.
Yeah, it was looking good when I was over there last time.
Yeah, it's coming along, but I am using AI to kind of help me get through some of it.
Yeah.
If
you just put the recipe in, it can kind of just conglomerate it into a nice...
Actually, what I've done so far is I ask it just, like, for example, like beef stroganoff. I'll just say, give me a basic recipe for beef stroganoff, and then it does. And then I look at it, and I'll read it, and I'll be like, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. You're right. Yeah, that's right. And then I just kind of adjust it just a little bit to what I do, right? And then copy and paste it. Yeah. So, and I was doing some exploring. My band wants us to do more videos, for our music. And that's complicated to figure out how to do it and, editing them and all that stuff and whatever. So I started looking into some different AI tools to try to help with that kind of stuff. And I found a video that gave me some ideas for how to use AI better, guys. It had this whole thing where it was a YouTube video I watched where the guy gave you some prompts that are basic prompts to start with. It was for animation. So to do animation for like stick figure animation, right? Like there's cool stick figure animations that they do online, right? And this guy used AI to do all of it. And so what he did was he asked AI, do this, create this using a template, using a prompt, right? And then he copies all the things that it says onto a Google Doc. So you have the character profiles on one Google Doc, and you have the story profiles on another Google Doc.
And it pulls from that.
Right. And then you have them organized in different Google Docs so that you can use those to, actually edit from. And honestly, I just like the process of saying, oh, that is a good idea to ChatGPT is awesome, but when you ask it something, like, for example, last night when I was doing my stream, I had 10 different games that I had asked it to create. And now I have to scroll through them to find everything.
Right.
Whereas if I copy and paste it to a Google Doc, then it's like, that's
much more organized.
Right. So it's an easier way to organize the information that ChatGPT gives you.
Organize it like a Google Doc.
Oh, that is a good question. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But I just found that process to be very, very good.
Or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's, it's just organizing is such an important part of utilizing a tool well, right?
Yeah.
And, I think that's one of the only problems with ChatGPT is it's too easy to get lost in the mix because it's so much, you're just asking it questions and then,
it's just a list.
Right.
Yeah.
And yes, you can go back and look in your previous titles of chats and things, but it's still a lot to sift through.
Right.
Yeah. I think they do need to work a little bit more on the organizational aspects of it, like creating some files, like, would you like to create a folder for this or something, where you can access it later or something, or even tag, like words that can be searched so that you can bring that back up quickly. I don't think they have that, but that would be great, right?
Yeah, keywords or something. Have a keyword for it. And
exactly.
Bring it all up. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, let's see.
Got any questions?
Yeah, I'm looking for the questions here. Rama says, can I give you advice about practicing English by web? Yes, go to my website. Go to my website and you'll find what you need. Okay, let's see. The next question is, let's see, what is important in English reading or speaking? Ravi, is your right hand more important than your left hand? Is your right leg more important than your left leg?
Yeah.
Which leg do you want to live without, Ravi? Which leg? Your right leg or your left leg? That's what you're asking. Which one is more important, reading or speaking? They're legs, man. You need both. Okay? Am I interested in politics? Alex wants to know. I have great interest in politics, but not here. I'm interested in politics. I'm sure Clay is interested in politics. We both know about politics. We both have our viewpoints about politics, but this is not the platform for politics, everybody. Okay? We don't do politics or religion here. Okay? Okay. Good. All right. No more questions. I thought we had all more questions, but we don't. So let's try to get another person up. We'll try Gigi again. Gigi, Earth to Gigi. Are you there?
Hello, Gigi.
Okay. How about Janie or Janie? I'm not sure. Sometimes there's see, right now when I invited them on the stage, it said failed to invite.
Huh. Maybe they're just not there anymore. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It could be, but I mean, it still shows their hand is raised.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's some sort of a glitch that's happened though recently, and I don't know why. Sometimes it says you have sent the invitation, like that one just did, to Beyond here. Hello, Beyond.
Hello, it's my turn.
Yes, it's your turn. Hello, my friend.
I've been there for a long time.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes people have to wait a bit.
Welcome.
I see you're out for hello. You're out for a walk with your dog. I see. Okay. So beyond, you're in China. In what city?
City is a small city. I'm not sure you know this name. His name Dongying.
Dongying. I don't think I do know that one, but okay. And what can we do for you today?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. I want to make sure something.
Okay, we're ready for your question.
Yeah, I when I play Douyin, someone in Douyin said that they go to the United States for 1 year and just wash dishes in the restaurant, and then they buy a big house. Is that true?
They came to America, they washed dishes, and then they bought a big house. I'm probably gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. That's not true. No, I wish that were true. But no, nobody
they
washing.
Were washing more than dishes.
Yeah, that's right. They were doing something more than washing dishes, because houses are expensive here, and a dishwasher, even in the nicest restaurant in America, is not going to make enough money to buy a house. No, I wish that were not true, but it is not true for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I know. I get it.
Yeah, dishwashers don't get paid very much. They're usually that's one of the lowest paid jobs in the restaurant. It's the starting position. That's what you start in the kitchen. You always start at the bottom. The bottom is dishwasher. So, yeah, dishwashers don't make much. I can see you can make enough money to maybe have an apartment, depending on where you live. You know,
but not buy a big house.
Right? No, and not even buy an apartment. Just rent.
Definitely not.
You can
not
rent an apartment.
All, yeah,
you can rent an apartment. Sure. But even that, to be honest, even that is getting difficult. To have one job that's a minimum wage job, to be able to afford rent, it's pretty hard, actually.
Yeah, very hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And next question. Someone said most house in the United States was built by wood. Is that true?
Was what?
Made with wood. Our houses are made with wood. Yeah, they are mostly.
For the most part.
They are mostly made with wood. That's correct. The frames and structures of the majority of our houses are wood structures. Our houses are. We don't usually have too much worry about things like hurricanes where we live, okay? Or I should say, if we do, people can't afford to buy a house that's a hurricane-proof house, right? So maybe the richest people can afford to buy an earthquake-proof house that's concrete, or a house that's hurricane-proof, you know, or a solid brick house. Those are expensive, you know, but the majority of houses, absolutely, I'm sure, they're made of wood. Yes.
Okay. So my oldest son has not learned very well. He's not good at study. Mm-hmm. So I want to let him to learn some skills. Mm-hmm. So what about carpenter, woodworker?
Oh, carpenter.
Ah, carpenter.
Yeah, carpenter. What about this job?
Well, I think that's an amazing job. I've always thought carpentry is a really cool job that's very interesting. And I have a friend who's a carpenter. And he does pretty well, I think, because he makes mostly like custom furniture that's very expensive. You know, handmade furniture is very expensive to make.
And I think the amount of money you can save being a carpenter is worthwhile too. If you do end up building something on your own, if you end up building a house,
yeah, that's
like
true.
That.
The skill itself has value. Yeah, like personal value, that you know how to fix things, you know how to build things so that you can spend less money than other people do because you have more knowledge about construction than they do, right? So it's a good job, but when you say your son doesn't study well, how old is your son?
He's only 15 years old.
Ah, don't give up on him yet. Come on, he's only 15. He's 15. Guess what, Beyond? When I was 15, I wasn't a very good student. I was not a very good student when I was 15.
A horrible student.
Yeah, and now I'm one of the most highly recommended teachers on Hello Talk. Okay, and I speak Chinese, and I've been learning languages for a long time. I have many skills that I'm good at, right? But when I was 15, I'm only 15. Come on. Don't, you know, that's too early to make a judgment yet.
I'm about to have to run to work. Speaking of getting a job,
no worries.
I didn't realize what time it was. I'm about to head out, guys, and go to work. Nice to see everybody. I'll see you guys
Clay.
back on Friday.
Yeah, take care, Clay. I'll see you next time on Friday,
Bye.
okay? Bye-bye. So yeah, Beyond, what I would say is you can't, you have to remember sometimes your kid just needs more time. Okay, listen. Sometimes my worst student one year is my best student the next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it happens all the time. Students are like flowers. Students are like flowers. Some flowers, they bloom in April. Some flowers, they bloom in September. Every flower opens at a different time. Students are like flowers. So some students, they open early. They're ready to learn early. Some students, they're late bloomers, we call them. A late bloomer means, okay, he's just not ready yet. He will, though. He will be. And when he is ready, he'll bloom. And then he's ready to learn. I was a late bloomer when I was learning. Okay, I think when I was young, I just was not ready yet to be serious about learning. And I had some troubles in school, some difficulties with the way they do things in school. So it was hard for me. But eventually, I did learn how to learn. And I was serious. Okay, and I think anybody who knows me now would say I'm a serious learner. So don't give up on a 15-year-old kid. No, come on. Encourage him still. You need to say, 加油. That's what you need to say. More 加油, more 手能生巧. You know, come on. Yeah. That's what you need to say. And Beyond, be encouraging. Be encouraging. He is trying to climb a mountain. You need to say, come on, you can do it, you can do it. If you're trying to climb a mountain and someone is saying, you're terrible, you can't do anything right, you're not good, you're not going to climb the mountain well if somebody is yelling at you and telling you how bad you are, right? So when you're climbing a mountain, you need someone to encourage you, right? So he's trying to climb a mountain. He's trying to learn in school. Encourage him and tell him you know it's hard and you know he can do it. And you should tell him it's a mountain. It's a mountain. I wish someone would have told me that when I was a boy. Learning is climbing a mountain. It's hard. It's good to know that, though. If you know it's hard, then you can understand what you need to do. If you think it's easy, then you're never going to climb the mountain. Okay?
Yeah. Learning is hard.
Yeah, learning is hard. That's why you need to be supportive. You need to be encouraging, right? So, and Beyond, I want you to remember something really important here. This is very important. You are his father. If you don't believe in him, he will think no one will believe in him. Okay, so you have to believe in him. You have to show him, I believe in you. I believe in you, son. Because if you don't believe in him, then inside he will feel like, well, my father doesn't even believe in me. So if my father doesn't believe I can do it, then nobody will believe I can do it. Okay? So a father and a mother, they have to show that they believe in their kid. Okay?
Yeah.
Remember that. That's
Okay,
really, really important. You know, you don't want to be a son who feels like my father doesn't believe in me. No, that's not good. That's bad medicine. Okay? So beyond, just keep trying. Keep trying. Keep being positive. Keep trying to give your kid all the support he needs. And remember that he just is not ready to bloom yet. He will, but it just takes time. He's a late bloomer. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Remember, guys, if you are a parent, then you are a teacher. Every parent is a teacher. And you want your kids to have positive teachers, don't you? You want your kids to have positive teachers. So if you are a parent, then you must be a positive teacher. Okay? All right. So beyond, good luck with that. Good luck with that. And keep supporting your son. Keep, giving him encouragement that he can do it, and just try to sit down with him and tell him, look, I know this is a mountain. I know it's hard to climb, but I believe in you and I think you can do it. But you need to just understand this is a mountain and you have to climb it, but I'm going to support you. This is a mountain you must climb, but I'm going to support you. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
All right, Beyond. You're welcome, my friend. Thank you for coming on my stage, and I'll see you next time, okay?
Thank you for having me.
Take care, my friend.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Guys, students, every student learns at a different time. Every student is ready to learn at a different time. Every teacher knows this. When you have 30 students in your class, you don't have 30 students who are ready to learn. You have some who are ready and some who are not. You still have to teach them, but you have to be patient. And you can't get angry at a flower for not blooming in the right month. Okay? All right. Let's see. What time is it? All right, we're coming up on 2 hours. We have a few more minutes here. You are welcome, Beyond. You are welcome. All right, let's try Vicky. Let's talk to Vicky. I think I have time for one more. Huh? Why does it keep saying failed to invite to speak? Vicky, are you there? Vicky in Vietnam. Hello, Vicky. Yeah, I think that what's happening is maybe these people are raising their hand, but then it's timing out. And so it should take them off the list, but it's not. I need to talk to them about that. All right, I'm going to try one more time. Gigi, hello, Gigi. No. And Johnny, hello, Johnny. And no. And Vicky, hello, Vicky. No. Okay. So we have Sanjar is next. No. Guys, raise your hand if you want to come talk to me. Yeah, if the flower is not ready to bloom yet, you don't get mad at the flower. You can't get angry at a flower because it didn't bloom in March. It's a flower that blooms in April, or it blooms in June. You know, you don't get mad at it. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay? Yeah, something's wrong with this stage request thing. I think all of these people are not there anymore. Let's see, we have Sajad. I think he is new. Hello, Sajad, are you there? Hello, Sajad.
Hi, can you hear me well?
I can, yes. Hello, my friend.
Okay. You're really a good teacher.
Oh,
I'm just
thank
following
you.
you today, and it was great to hear such inspiring things. You're telling us about how students can be, how students are really should be. I mean, they should be looked at, viewed. Like some of them are late bloomers and their stuff. Cool things to hear. Really, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Again, these are things that you learn as a teacher. You know, I remember when I started teaching when I was very young, I was like 19, 18 years old. And I remember I got mad when my students would come to class and they were not as serious as I am. You know, and I was like, wait a minute, why are you not serious? Why are you not serious? And you have to understand that every student has a different motivation, and every student has a different time that they're ready to learn, you know? So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's important to understand that knowledge and patience have an important relationship with each other.
And by the way, I wanted to say I'm a teacher.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you in Tehran or where are you in Iran?
If you have heard the name of the city, I live in Shiraz.
I love Shiraz. It's my favorite kind of wine.
Really? Come on.
No, Shiraz.
It has many other things.
Yeah.
It is also very famous for so many other things as well.
Oh, I know. I'm sure it is. Yes, but that I remember when I first learned, where does Shiraz come from? I was like, wow. Oh, this is Iranian. I was like, well, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, but it is. It's a yummy wine. So okay. And did you have
I have not tasted, but I have heard.
Okay.
It's also cool.
Sure. So Sajjad, did you have any questions for me or anything I can help you with today?
Well, to tell you the truth, I want to know whether you teach some English books, for example, to EFL or ESL, I mean foreigners or second language students. And if you teach, how do you usually teach the reading part?
So yeah, I do teach. Again, yeah, that is my job. I'm an ESL teacher. And yes, reading. How do I teach reading? Well, first you start with simple things. It depends on the age, right? So if you're talking about children, like babies, then you just start with children's books, right? That's what we start with. And some teachers, they encourage adults to use children's books too. And I think that works for some adults, but I think many adults like myself, I don't want to read a baby book. It feels weird. You know, as an adult to read a baby book in any language feels weird, you know? But you still have to read basic things, though. You have to read something simple, okay? So there are some websites that I usually use for teaching reading that have really simple short stories. But you can also use ChatGPT now very easily. You can just ask it, you know, hey, write a simple short story with basic vocabulary, basic grammar. You can even tell it, use only simple tense, you know, or use this tense to practice this thing, you know, or do this kind of writing, academic writing, or, you know, so you can ask ChatGPT to write different things for you to practice reading depending on what level you are or what skill you're trying to learn.
And do you have any steps for it? I mean, for example, you tell them you need to listen once, then you need to read the passage without looking up the new words, then you need to answer the question. I mean, do you have such steps or not?
I do, yeah. So usually when I do reading with my private students, I usually read with them, right? So they will read it first by themselves, and I will listen to them as they read. Then we'll go back and I will read it for them myself while they listen, and we'll talk about the vocabulary words. Maybe as they're reading, if they make a pronunciation mistake, I'll make a note, you know, like, oh, they didn't pronounce this correctly or this correctly. And then we go through it either sentence by sentence or sometimes even word by word or phrase by phrase, depending on the student. Usually I try to do it sentence by sentence because I don't want to break it down too small. That gets a little, you get too focused on too small of a detail. You need to see the sentences to make sense of language, right? So So yeah, I usually have them read, then I go through it with them, and we talk about what this short story can teach them about vocabulary, about tense, about grammar, about common phrases or vocabulary words that they should focus on, which words are used often or which phrases are used often, things like that. So there's one page that I use. It's called eslfast.com. That's the one I most often use for reading. And I like it because it has, I don't know, it has like 3,000 stories, and they're short. They're all, none of them are more than 5 or 10 minutes of reading. And that's great. Because sometimes people, when they're reading, they think that the only kind of reading is books. And books are great. I love books. Books are great, but books require a lot more commitment. And sometimes students don't have that commitment yet. So that's why you need to give them something smaller to read, just a short story to read, and then talk about it, and sometimes I also, Sajid, I will also, after we read the story, then I'll ask them to write a story like the one we just read. So what that does is now they've read something and we've talked about it. Now they have to use it to write something similar. Right?
Okay.
That makes it active. Yeah. And it connects the reading and the writing together, right? That's what you also want to do, is as often as possible when you're teaching different skills of language, you should try to connect them to each other. Right? So that the kids can see, or the students can see, how if you learn reading, it helps you with your speaking. If you learn speaking, it helps you with your writing. If you learn writing, it helps you with your listening. All these things are connected, so they need to see the connections. Yeah.
But one more question that I got for you is regarding watching movies and the stuff. I hear many EFL or ESL teachers here say and recommend watching movies. But when I go for them, I sometimes see that the language is very limited.
Yeah.
And also they are replete with swear words and stuff, and I do not understand why it is like that.
Yeah. Okay. So, Sajad, American TV shows and movies, they can be good for learning. They can be, but you're right. They are not by themselves good for learning. Okay? Because why? American TV shows and movies are not meant for learning. They're meant for entertainment. That's all they're meant for. Okay? And you're right. The majority of them don't have proper language. They have common language. And common language often has slang. It often has words like gonna, wanna, shoulda, coulda, or words like sup, like what's up, sup, right? Things like that. And also lots of bad words. It's America. Freedom of speech is something we take pretty seriously, and that means freedom of speech means freedom of bad words too, right? And you're right. Sometimes our movies are full of them, depending on the movie you're watching, right? Here is what I think, Sajad. Yes, TV and movies can be fantastic tools for learning if you make them learning tools, but they are not learning materials by themselves. You have to do something to make it a learning material. So how can you do that? You need something called the transcript. Okay, every American TV show has a free transcript online. Whoops, I spelled it wrong. SCRIPT. The transcript is a printout of all the words or anything they say in that TV show or movie. It's just like the subtitles, but when you see the subtitles on the TV, sure, you can read them, but are they really helping you learn? No. It's going by too fast and you can't make any notes and you can't remember anything. So that's not really helping you learn when it's on the TV. But if it's on a piece of paper and you're holding it in your hands, and now you can circle the words and phrases you don't know, or the phrases you like, or things that you need to remember, now you can make that TV show study material. Okay? And you can look at it and you can analyze the language to see, yes, this dialogue is common language that's not proper in a classroom. but it's good if you're on the street. That's fine. You can speak like that on the street, right? Or this part, right? Maybe this part of the language is academic language, right? Maybe there's a scene in a college and they're talking about things in an academic way. Okay, that's right. So what I would tell you is, yes, of course, TV and movies, just like books can be valuable, TV and movies can be. The difference is a book is already in a format that can be studied and learned. But a movie and a TV show is not, unless you get the transcript. Then it can be studied and learned. Okay?
Okay.
And then
I got my answer. Thank you.
Also, one last thing is, yes, it also matters what TV show and what movie you're watching, right? Not all of them are equal, meaning I like sci-fi and I like fantasy, but if you're watching a show about dragons or aliens, that's cool, but maybe not very useful for your language, right? So what movies and TV shows are good for learning? Shows about real life, things about work, things about family, things about friends, things about travel, things about the real world with real situations. Those are going to be better for your learning, okay? And then the last tip I think is, I think TVs are better than movies for learning English or learning language. Why? For one simple reason. If you want to learn language using a show or a movie, you have to watch it more than one time. And sometimes movies now are like 3 or 4 hours long. You want to watch a 4-hour movie 5 times? No. No, I do not. I don't have that much time. But a TV show, some TV shows are only about 20 minutes when you take out the commercials. So 20 minutes, you can watch that 5 times, and that's good. So I tell my students, watch the first time with no subtitles, no help at all. Just watch and listen and see what you can do. Watch the second time with subtitles and see if you can pay attention with the subtitles. Watch the third time with the transcript and make notes. Then watch a 4th time again with just subtitles, and then a 5th time with nothing again. And then the 5th time, when you watch the 5th time, you should have made progress. You should be able to understand better now because you've studied that show. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you for this complete and thorough answer.
You're welcome. Yeah. Like I said, TV and movies are great, but you have to make them a study material. Okay?
I heard that you made a distinction between slang and street talk and something like standard academic talk. But do you think it depends on people's personalities?
It does.
I mean, the way
of
that
course.
they talk.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. Language
Because
is
I
personal.
sometimes even hear some, when I listen to, for example, say WBEZ,
Okay.
or some radio channels. I hear sometimes some politicians go for slang in the street talk sometimes. Normally, you do not expect them to talk like this.
Okay.
But when you hear, you see that, okay, it depends on the person's personality.
It depends on the person's
style you
personality.
choose.
That's true. But why would a politician use that language? Why? Language is
Maybe
about
to become intimate.
Language is about connecting with people. And if the people you're trying to connect to are common people, then you should use common language. Because if you use very formal academic language, they're going to feel like, oh, this person is not part of us. They don't speak like we do. So language is powerful. You have to know what language to use in what situation, right? So, yeah. If I'm in front of a group of students in a classroom, I speak like this. But if I'm trying to talk to my friends maybe I'm at the bar, I have a completely different way of speaking. Or if I'm at a town hall meeting and I'm trying to speak to a politician, I can speak completely differently, right? So again, it depends. That's something called code switching. It's a psychological term. Code switching means that you change the way you act and the way you speak depending on who you're speaking to. Right? So, of course, yeah, you speak to your grandfather differently than you speak to the guy at the bar. right? You speak differently to a teacher than you do to I don't know, a kid who's, in the park, right? Slightly differently, the way you approach them and talk to them, right? It's called code switching. It's a psychological term. It means you change your behavior or your language depending on who's in front of you. And musicians, we do this too, right? When you're a professional musician, if I am a rock musician and I'm at a jazz bar, I should not play rock music. They want jazz music. I should play jazz music. That's the music they're expecting, right? Language is very similar to music in so many ways. So that's why I have many followers here, because almost all of my ideas come from my background as a musician, and I apply language learning concepts, or I should say, I apply music concepts to language learning. And
how often do you use phrasal verbs? How often native speakers in America?
Often.
Because it seems when you shift into phrasal verbs, it is very difficult to understand, and it is another world of language.
It can be, yeah. Phrasal verbs are what we call improvised language, which means they were created. One day, somebody put two words together and made a new meaning. And that's a phrasal verb. It's improvised language. And because it's improvised language, there are no rules. There's not a rule that you can learn that you can say, oh, I understand all of them now because I understand this one rule. No, they're all different. And you're right. They're difficult. They're one of the hardest parts of English language. How can you learn phrasal verbs? You should learn them in groups, meaning, for example, get. Get is one of the most, there are like 180 different ways to use the word get. Okay, literally, there are 180 different ways to use the word get. Okay, you could say get in, get on, get through, get over, get into, get by. All of those are slightly different. Okay, and what I tell my students is you should learn them in groups that are related to the same verb, meaning get, do all the ones that have get, do all the ones that have run, like run in, run over, run by, run through, then do all the ones that have help out, help with, help on, right? Whatever, any verb, choose a verb, then use all the words that are related to that verb, right? All the phrasal verbs that are related there. So you're learning them in groups. And then you have to do them kind of like idioms, where just choose a certain number per day or per week and try to integrate them in your language. Yeah. But it's important to try to use them in groups so that you're not just learning one at a time. You have to learn them in groups. Okay?
Okay, it was really nice talking with you.
Yeah,
a very
you
nice
too.
experience. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Yeah, it's always nice to talk to another teacher. And yeah. And again, as I mentioned before, I talk to Iranians all the time, and I always am so amazed about the English there. So great. So thank you, Sajjad.
That's so nice of you.
Yeah.
Nice of you. That's so nice of you. Thank you for your time and having me there.
It's my pleasure. And come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Of course, that would be my pleasure.
All right. Take care, my friend. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So cute. And my Chinese friend. I know it's hard to understand because his English was very good and my English is very good. So we were speaking quickly and we were using more advanced language. Okay? But that's okay. That's okay. You can try to listen. Okay? Listening, if you only listen to things that you can understand all the time, then you will never improve your listening. Let me say that again. If you only listen to things that you understand all the time, then you will never improve your listening. So you have to challenge your ears. challenge your ears to try to understand a little bit. Okay? Oh, guys, it's already, I've been here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's going to be about time for me to go. But before I do, I want to give you guys my link. Go to here, linktr.ee/AFIEC English. Go here if you want to follow me. I have about 80,000 followers here on Hello Talk. I have been on Hello Talk for almost 12 years. I have done over 2,000 hours of teaching here, and I am a real certified English teacher with more than 15 years of experience teaching ESL. Okay, so you should follow me. I have 5 live streams and 5 voice streams every week. Okay, so 80,000 people come to ask me their questions, and I answer them. So you will hear lots and lots of tips about how to learn English here. Okay? But 我会说中文，我也会说 OK？ 所以如果你说中文，你可以来听我，每天听我，看我 OK？ All right, guys, I'll see you guys next time. I have to go have some lunch now. But thank you for coming. I'll be back tonight. Ro, you're a little bit late. You're too late. I've been here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Where were you? You're too late. Come back later tonight. I have a voice room. Tonight I have a voice room, or I'll be back tomorrow morning for another live stream. Okay? All right. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye, everyone.